myself, I call it fortune tell. Fire top from a bitch that work at corporate sales. Chinchilla, you shop in the street, not a Porsche.
Too many early airport runs this month. Another week, another trade show. And it's not that I don't like visiting these trade shows, but to be honest, there are things that I would rather spend my energy on. But in some cases, it's just a matter of putting in the reps. If you aren't out here, if you aren't placing yourself in the positions to be seen, how else are people gonna find out about you? And yeah, if you are in a stage where you're currently building your product, well, maybe you should just be heads down and focusing on that. But like us, we are in a position where we know that we have a good product that the market is lacking. So our focus is marketing, and in this case is very much relationship based. So I put in reps, I'm here at these trade shows, but I'm trying to do or make the most out of it when I spend my time leaving my office and being at these places. So whenever I can, I try to get speaking engagements, so being up on stage, talking and establishing authority in this space, showing that we are knowledgeable and we can provide value, and being someone people look up to in this industry. Because if you are a founder, people will ultimately associate you with the company, very interlinked. So whenever you think about you, they will think about the company. So think about your image and how you can position yourself as someone people rely on and go for, information as think is trustworthy, because that is gonna spell onto your company. Features we have on permitting is being driven by requests of our customers. It's obviously a great need in, and
ain't no question if I want it, I need it. I can feel it slowly drifting away from me. I'm on the edge, so why you playing? I'm saying I will never ever let you live this down, down, down. Not for nothing, I've foreseen it. I dream it. I can feel it slowly drifting away from me.
So I'm sitting here and doing some reflection and looking at the car I've been using it for the past weeks. I know it's been very car-centric, and a big reason for that is because I am extremely passionate about cars. It's one of my biggest hobbies, and something I just told a very few of my closest friends is that one day my goal is to own my own car brand. And that's not just a dream or something people say. I have an actual plan of how I'm gonna get there. But to get there, it's going to take an immense amount of growth on multiple fronts, from finances to knowledge, to character, to network. And you can't just go from level 0 to 100. There are multiple levels you need to go through there in between. And on the topic of growth and sitting here looking at the car from outside of the street, reminds me of me getting my first sports car. So ever since I was young, I had this very ambitious goals and targets, and I very quickly ended up in entrepreneurship. I started my first company when I was 16 years old and did whatever you could do as a 16-year-old with no money. I started doing lawn mowing. Quickly realized that didn't really work out well, and I tried all different kinds of business models. And eventually I stumbled upon my first smaller success. I sold a brand that I've been building in Europe. It wasn't near the success I hoped to, but I was able to get away with a little bag of money. And I used that to go down and buy my first sports car. It was a Porsche 981 Cayman. Black on black on black, looked very much like this one. Maybe we can pop out a couple of pictures. And I remember coming back to my little hometown. I was, thrilled, overjoyed. I was so excited to bring this new car back to my friends, thinking that they're gonna share this success with me and equally as happy. We're gonna be able to take it out and, have fun in this sports car. Bear in mind, we were 19 years old back then. But instead, I came back and was met with resentment, envy, and, people that I thought were one of my closest friends were talking shit behind my back. And yeah, let's not discount the fact that cars is also a symbol of status and success. But for me, it's always been much more. And I realized that the people who couldn't see that weren't worth keeping. I think this is something that isn't spoken about enough when you're on a trajectory of growth and you have very ambitious goals, which I assume you do if you're watching this. That there's going to be a period where you, on this path of growing, you will be outgrowing some people and friends that you have in your life. That's right, thank you. Oh, look at that. So there's gonna be a moment where you start outgrowing people and your existing friends. But it's gonna be that period between outgrowing your friends and before finding your next tribe that you resonate with. And I heard some people call this the lonely chapter because it is just that. It can be quite lonely. I was very lucky and had, very supportive family and girlfriends back then. But know this, if you're either going through it right now or you will soon, that this is a necessary part in your growth. And it's only those who can endure this, who doesn't fall back to their old friends and stop their trajectory of growth, that can reach the next level. And even though it feels like no one is applauding you, know this, that everyone who has walked this path before you, including me, is rooting for you. Anyway, I'm gonna finish my journaling. I'm currently heads deep in this new book, How to Tell a Story. It took a while to get into it, but now I'm absolutely obsessed with it. It's incredible. There's more of a science to telling a story than you think. And then I'm gonna head back into SF and meet up with some friends. So on the topic of cars, let's drive through some of these posh suburban neighborhoods outside of San Francisco and see if we can do some car spotting. So that's Mercedes GT63. Oh, I'm absolutely obsessed with these currently. Land Rover, Range Rover Defender. Oh, sitting in there. That is 110, so they come in 3 sizes, 90, 110, and 130. 110 is definitely my favorite. Not too big, but still chunky and beefy. Oh, another one. The popular, for good reason. This one has roof racks on. Put your bike, put your skis, surfboard. Just love the aesthetics of this. So clean. Has that bunky, almost G-Wagon look, but still much more refined. I love one of these in silver. Look what's hiding behind here. How about that for a 2-car garage? A Fiat 500 and a 90s Porsche 911 Carrera. This guy is equipped to live in Italy.
Youngest like Jeremiah, but I get to the end zone. If she tryna play too much real quick, get put in the friend zone. And they all come back when I'm up, but I don't wanna talk to you, hell no. I'm a young hustler, Steve Jobs. I'm waking up when the money comes. See through translucent, he like the top, but he never gon' do shit now. Think he got money, he boosting cars. I told my brothers we take massage. I'm in that G5. If you fuck my friend, it's a peace sign. I stay with my family, meantime. You can rent that bitch, I'ma keep mine.
So I'm sitting here and doing some reflections. I was actually here with a couple of friends this week, and we sat down here by the fire and discussing things like, what should we do with our life? Where in the world should we be? What is the purpose? All the things that could be done better in this world. And some of the things that are out of our control that should be better if we all put our collective effort to do so. But being able to have these thoughts is a privilege. I think majority of the world is stuck in survival mode. Their fight to flight brain is what takes over, and all they have to think about, all they can think about is getting by. So the fact that we can sit here and ask these big questions is something that we shouldn't take for granted. And whatever problems you're going through in your life, whatever struggles, whatever challenges you're currently facing, zoom out for a while and realize how much worse you could have it and how well you have it right now. And whatever decisions you're about to make, do it from a place of gratitude. That's the only way. So I'm sitting here and reviewing some of the videos for last week, and I read this quote the other day that I'm gonna read back to you, and it goes like this. The degree to which a person can grow is in direct proportion to the amount of truth that they can accept about themselves without running from it. So what does that mean? Well, manifestation of this is definitely real, but unless you aren't able to identify your own shortcomings, what you're lacking, what you need to improve, what you need to build on, you will never reach whatever ambitions that you're looking for. And this YouTube journey here has been nothing but an emotional roller coaster. Because in most cases, you're stuck seeing yourself in first person view, and it can be quite hard to identify what you need to work on. But seeing yourself in third person like this really gives it to you black and white. You get to see how you talk, how you act, your posture, your character. And if you're just brave enough to sit there and deal with the truth about yourself, analyze what you're doing, it makes it very clear on what are the things that I need to improve, what I need to work on to become the person who can achieve all these things that I want to achieve. So I would definitely recommend anyone to film yourself talking, pitching, doing sales, whatever, and watch it back, analyze yourself. You don't need to post it on YouTube and do a bunch of fancy edits, but post it privately so you can review them, you can go back to them weeks after and see how you improved over time and what you need to continue to work on. And there's a thing that I wrote in my journal this week. You don't get what you want, you get what you deserve. Haven't got it yet, haven't deserved it yet. And I think shifting your mindset from the idea of chasing, and when you don't get what you want, you're being angry at the world or that things are unfair. Instead, it puts you in a mindset of attracting. That for you to get whatever you're looking for, you need to first be worthy of it. And what that does is that it puts the power back in your court. There's no one to blame. You simply aren't good enough to achieve it. So the only thing you can do is to work on yourself. And there's this famous quote that goes, power follows the blame finger. And I think there's so much truth in that. Anyway, it's getting late. Enough rambling. I head into bed. Peace.